Hey all, what's up? Total Control 871 and happy Gay Pride Month. Alright, so today is going to be the Gay Pride episode. It's June, it's Gay Pride Month. I think usually today is when they hold most of the Gay Pride parades, but I think there'll be other scheduled events throughout the month. So today I wanted to talk to you about how being gay has directly impacted my life. Um, as many of you know, I've worked very long and hard in my life. I believe I said when I when I returned to New Jersey, 92, 91, something like that. Hit the ground, gaining employment immediately. Like I said, I've worked my entire life. Um, I don't have a whole lot, but what I do have, I worked for it. Um, anyway, so I'm doing a lot of minimum wage uh, stock jobs, Toys R Us. I think there were a couple of cashier gigs, and I always had my eyeball on the casino industry. I've always known that the casino industry, at the time anyway, it was rock solid employment, paid $2 or $3 above minimum wage, and some of the well, I could go off into a whole rant about the unions within the casino because they are different and they're comprised of different racial makeups. The housekeeping, stuff like that, it's primarily Latino, and the unionized rate of pay was a ridiculous $7.49. I have no idea what it is right now. I think it's probably higher than that. But you would think with having such a large union, it was a large union now, all 12 casinos, you know. But no, they there's a whole that's a whole somebody else is gonna have to do that thing. It was just a very poorly managed union. The president, Bob McDivitt or whatever, he got filthy rich. Alleged to be in bed with a lot of the casino top brass. Anyway, um, so I've always known that the casinos could provide a very long-term, stable, middle-class existence, and that's something that I've always wanted my entire life. Unfortunately, there were barriers to that middle-class existence. When I gained employment at the Atlantic City Hilton, this is basically how I wore my hair. I could say a whole lot about my hair. It would just be very long, very dry conversation, dealing a lot in metaphysics. There is on the big pie chart of reasonings as to why my hair is long and the way I wear it. That would be there is a slice on that pie chart that has to do with sexual identity. However, I am not in any fashion whatsoever transgender. I don't even come close to it. I've often complained about this baby face of mine not being able to grow hair. I absolutely love, I would love to have a full beard. But while working at the Atlantic City Hilton, there's a whole backstory to it. But so I'm working there. Hopefully the phone's still in focus. Security. Shortly after 9/11, security is in high demand. Um, High demand for security. So they're hiring so fast and furious for security that I get hired in. Nobody's really paying attention to my hair because of how neat, how well groomed it is, and how neat it's worn. Um, so I get hired. I did not have a gaming license here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. To work anywhere on the casino floor, you have to have what's called a 2-1 gaming license. it's a big fucking racket. It's just a way of charging individual employees something like $300 or $400 for these licenses. It's a big fucking racket. That's all it really is. They do like some kind of a background check. I'm whatever, right? Whatever. Um, anyway, because like I said, that's not the topic today. Um, So I'm working as a hotel security guard where I can only work in the hotel side. I did that for I don't know, maybe like two months. I know that they want you to get your two unlicensed in like 90 days, like within your 90 days. So anyway, point is, I'm busting my hump, and I mean busting my hump. I'm just sucking up the overtime like you would not believe. There's more to that, but my record stands at 96 hours in 1 week. And believe me, that's standing on your feet. Okay. Not in a patrol car, not behind a desk in a cushy, comfy chair. I'm up there, beating feet for 96 hours in 1 week. And believe me, my legs have got the spider veins and the varicose veins to prove just how hard I've worked in my life. Anyway, again, get focused here. So when I get my gaming license and I graduate onto the gaming floor, I believe I was in the chip bank. I'll have to tell you guys a funny chip bank thing and later, but different video. So I get certified in the chip bank gaming checks, what some of you might call checks, the stacks of chips. The various gaming tables, their gaming chips have to be replenished throughout the day, and security does that. So there I am with my little they're see-through box totes that you take to the various gaming pits where there are. Anyway, and there I am, and I check in with the pit boss first, who signs and authorizes, and then to the supervisor, and then to the dealer themselves, etc., etc. It is I have no concrete confirmation, but it is basically my belief that it was a pit boss that took issue with the length of my hair, feeling that I looked too androgynous, basically, that I wasn't enough of a man. I did not comport to his idea of what a man should be, him being a white man, a heterosexual white man. And that's kind of where I would like to springboard our topic today. So much of the world, I understand we had our first black president, and there's been a great deal of diversity and progress over the last 10 years. Gay marriage, etc. This is still very much indeed a heterosexual white man's world, where your appearance, attire, and behavior, your speech, your mannerisms, they are all expected to comport to the professional standards of a heterosexual white man. So anything that deviates from that will be a great derailment to your financial security in life, your career. And like I say, I am not transgender, and I am not going to go off into a very long down the rabbit hole type thing of like I say, there is a sexual identity component to it, but if you wanted to break out excuse me, if you wanted to break out a scale, actually, I suppose my race has more to do with it than any kind of sexual identity, which actually means that this video that I'm shooting today, I could have just as easily done it in February for Black History Month. So go figure. Anywho, it's also why, your politicians, I know you got Brian Sims, poor Brian Sims, he's hanging on in there. You have a few politicians that do have full beards, but by and large, it is considered by once again, heterosexual white man's standard that a male politician be clean shaven. Something about it makes them appear more trustworthy. It's ridiculous because also it's why cops and police officers also, again, professions that are heavily dominated by heterosexual white men. They want to appear trustworthy, and with the ubiquity of cell phone video and the way it's all just rolling out for police these days, it's kind of a laughable standard. The whole thing just becomes, if it a comical professional, trustworthy, okay. What was it? One of the Philadelphia the cops, one of them said in their social media post, it's a good day for a chokehold. But hey, they're clean shaven. Thank God for that, huh? Anyway, so the way the whole situation ended at the Hilton, it was a huge battle there. I won't take you through every single step and stage of it. It ended up with me going down to human resources. There was a period, oh my God. If I still had the thing, actually, no, I probably wouldn't put it on and wear it for you because it was extremely psychologically traumatic. They made me wear a wig. A wig. I can't believe I just said that. So I'm like wearing this fucking wig. I look like a fat, overweight Donny Osmond. Think like that. It kind of like had like a part, like a Donny Osmond from the 70s. It just looked so bad, so bad. Anyway, so I had to deal with that for a while. Ultimately, human resources. I pitch, I plead. I took it to the mat. I even tried to get other male security officers, whether you were gay or straight or whatever, because a lot of the black guys, they had long braids. I'm trying to rally together to come. Let's go down there together, strengthen numbers, plead our case. When work ended that day, everybody just simply went their different ways and went home. I was the only one to go down to Bally's Park Place and to their HR office. Bally's Park Place, they were owner at the time of the Hilton, and ultimately I was allowed. My hair style was allowed. So much more I could say to that, but yeah, that pit boss took great exception to what he would call an androgynous appearance, that I wasn't man enough. It would be the Bally Park Place's position. Oh yeah, in that interim, I also tried to go and gain employment at Harris Casino, where I spelled out the trouble to a HR personnel doing hiring. Gina Lopp was her name. I don't know if she's still there or not. And I spelled it out to her plain and clear. I'm having trouble at the Hilton. This is why. Do you want me as a security guard? She said, sure, no problem. Got hired in, thought everything was well. They pulled me out of the orientation class and terminated right there. I didn't even make it onto the floor. I didn't make it to my first day of work. I was pulled out and terminated right there, just for being gay. Some would say, well, what do you mean? They hire gay people. As long as you don't look gay. As long as your particular version of homosexuality comports to the heterosexual white man's standard of professionalism. This is why Brokeback Mountain swept the nation, swept the world so profoundly. I think I heard a blurb from a couple of the cast members from Queer as Folk. Hal Sparks, don't quote me, I might be wrong, but I think it was either Hal Sparks or was the guy who played Brian, whatever. a couple of, or it may have been the guy who played Ted. Anyway, they had made like a comical quip that you would have to have been an avid watcher of Queer as Folk to understand what I'm about to say. It was a very graphic show, very graphic. There was not only full frontal nudity. Actually, I don't know. I think from what I understand, Game of Thrones had like a lot of nudity, but it was extremely graphic. Uh, Matter of fact, I think it came just shy of being X-rated. And when I say X-rated, I'm really giving away my age now. Um, Way back in the day, porn films they'd have X ratings, 1X, 2X, triple X. A single X-rated film, it would have like a legitimate plot. There'd be a legitimate plot to this movie. It'd be a movie-length thing, and anyway, I'm getting way off topic now. What's my time? My God, 16. Um, anyway, but yeah, they made this comical quip about how they did all that graphic sex. There was only two of them that were actually gay. So you had these heterosexual men doing all this very, very gay shit. And they earned some awards, but they didn't exactly take the world by storm. And here it is, Brokeback Mountain. I think somebody got out there with a stopwatch and timed exactly how much out of this, a movie that was like, what, almost 3 hours long or some shit? Something like a combined total of like 4 minutes of actual, sexual activity, if that long, very little. The reason why Brokeback Mountain swept the world was because it showed a version of homosexuality that people just simply were not, they didn't, don't want to say it. It's like, I want to give them more credit by saying that you knew they were out there, but in other words, club boys, party boys like Queer as Folk is what people would think of when they would think gay. Or Will and Grace, metrosexual, stylish apartments and things like that, They just simply didn't think shit-kicking cowboy, So it broke the static mold, and but yeah, so I understand that there were probably gay people. There were gay people in the military and gay people that worked in the casinos and whatnot. But as long as if you could not tell it just by looking, you had to comport to a certain image. And people like me who are true to themselves, we are denied employment. We are terminated, which is what happened to me at Harris and what ultimately happened to me at the Hilton. So there was no long-term employment, no financial security. So much more I could say there. But this is just some of the struggles. I'm just one gay man, There are so many LGBT people out there who are struggling every single day just to eke out an existence. Our own New Jersey State's Attorney, he is a Sikh. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I have no idea if State's Attorney Graywall understands the opportunity that he has and how so many freedom fighters have gone before him to pave the way that a person like him can have the opportunity that he has today to be New Jersey State's Attorney General. And I'm not talking about just simply people who advocate in the Sikh community, because I'm not mistaken, I believe we have the Sikhs now being allowed their long hair, beards, and turbans in the Air Force, New York Police Department. I think there's some firefighters. So the Sikhs are making great strides. But it's all of our freedom fighters, women's suffragists, black civil rights movement, Harvey Milk, the Stonewall riots. And then there's me, a security guard in Atlantic City, New Jersey, refusing to cut his hair and comport to a heterosexual white man's standard of what they think professionalism is. If not for freedom fighters like us, you would still be locked in the dark ages. Women would be property, white and black. You would not have equal citizenship if you were not a heterosexual white man. Alright guys, hopefully I've explained to you what Gay Pride Month means to me. The battles, just one of so many battles. I really wish to God I could just simply tell you everything. There just simply isn't time enough for it. But hey, I guess we can always save it till next episode. This guy here, all he wanted was to have his own. Being yourself, being true to yourself. What are you willing to sacrifice to have that right? Total Control 871.